Welcome to the Quick Galloper YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell.
They're off. Crypto Girl, Tornado Steel, and Ballistic Missile break right against the stands. In the center, Radam is running pretty prominently. Over on the far side, the Grey Yorkis is showing good speed. Shelly the Rocket in the orange sleeves is also close up as they make their way now toward the final three. Ballistic Missile under the stands, going at it with Yorkist over toward the center of the track. Shelly the Rocket is right there. Pope's Lady drifting over toward the far side as they come away now inside what will be the final quarter, and Ballistic Missile is running them off their legs. Ballistic Missile with a clear advantage in the pink sleeves under the stand fence. Radam is over on the far side with the Grey Yorkis. Silent American now asked to build momentum. Tornado Steel in the yellow cap near to us is also traveling strongly, but out on that lead it is Ballistic Missile. Less than a furlong to catch Ballistic Missile and Christopher Mamdine. They're not going to do it. Radam is chasing on the far side. Tornado Steel near to us. Ballistic Missile romps the first event by maybe 8 or more. Radam is second. Tornado Steel is third. It's close between Crypto Girl under the stands and coming on late, that's Buttercup.
Often Racing, not a bad line, all the way well. As on the outside, that's the Soul Warrior, Uncle Peck, rushing through to get that lead. So Uncle Peck on that lead. Storm hustled up and asked for more as they head toward the 6. Uncle Peck in front of Storm. Nakamura just on the outside of Nakamura. That's the Soul Warrior, and racing at the back of the field, that's Tiger Amidat. They head toward the 5. Just about 6 or 7 lengths cover the entire field as Uncle Peck just to lead. A Storm coming down on the outside. So Storm tackling Uncle Peck, and Storm points from Uncle Peck. They're about 3 lengths in front of the Soul Warrior. Another 2 to Nakamura and a further 2 to Tiger Amidat as they go past the 4. Make their way toward the 3, and Storm now assumes that lead. Goes on about 3 or 4 lengths. Uncle Peck back there in second, watching and coming around. That's the Soul Warrior. Then comes the Nakamura and Tiger Amidat still racing at the back of the field, but it is on that lead. Storm, the Soul Warrior, begins to come forward and begins to get serious. It's Storm in front of the Soul Warrior, trying to come back on the inside. That's Uncle Peck. Nakamura coming on late on the outside. That's Tiger Amidat, but it is still Storm. But here comes on the outside. That's the Soul Warrior. Storm keeping on from the Soul Warrior. Half a furlong to travel. It is Storm in front. The Soul Warrior trying to get to Storm. Storm resolute and coming up on the inside and finishing well. That's Nakamura, but Storm is fighting them off. Storm fending them off. Storm by about 2 lengths from the Soul Warrior. Got tied for third, either Tiger Amidat or Nakamura.
Holding them, now they're off. Nebuchadnezzar steps off slowly. You're My Sweetie came out awkwardly and left at the back. The Storm races up on the outside with the lead, Simply Enchanting chasing. The favorite Papi Uso tracks them in third, possibly 5 off that lead. Attila races up next as they charge toward the final 6 on the back stretch. The Storm sets the splits by a length and a long tail. Simply Enchanting chasing. Nebuchadnezzar and Papi Uso now. These form a very tight clump, the 4 of them. In behind them, that's a Slam Sharp. Attila overtaken by Slam Sharp. And You're My Sweetie remains at the back. They've left the 5. Nebuchadnezzar striding out with a length advantage. The Storm continues to stalk on the outside. Simply Enchanting and Papi Uso rub shoulders. Slam Sharp snapping at their heels. Attila racing second from the back. And You're My Sweetie yet to get going, but now begins to do so mildly as they've left the half mile and run toward the 3. The Storm on the outside pressing Nebuchadnezzar. These two now separated by the flare of a nostril. The Storm just the leader. Nebuchadnezzar hanging on to that rail run. Papi Uso is 3 lengths in behind them and now stoked up to go. In behind those, that's You're My Sweetie in the orange sleeves. Slam Sharp is also under the pump. Attila left toward the back, and Simply Enchanting has faded out last as Nebuchadnezzar turns for home at the top of the lane. The rider now changing his hold and calling for the right-hand stick. Here is You're My Sweetie bearing down on the outside, and the favorite Papi Uso set a light in between horses. Papi Uso looks to be going best of all along with You're My Sweetie. Nebuchadnezzar has cried enough. Over on the rail, that's Slam Sharp, but it is Papi Uso beginning to draw away. Inside the final 16th, Papi Uso and Javanil Patterson. Nebuchadnezzar trying to close a 2-length gap but can't. Papi Uso takes it. Nebuchadnezzar is finishing in second. You're My Sweetie is third. Slam Sharp is fourth.
And now they're off and racing. Inspire Force misses it and is racing at the back of the field. Zulu Warrior blast into an early lead going past the 5. Upper Revolution is right behind him. Just on the outside, that's a Smart Trick right against the rail. That's Money Market. Also in the mix, that's Allegiance, and tailing off badly at the back of the field. That's Inspire Force. They head toward the 3 and Zulu Warrior and Upper Revolution. Upper Revolution now goes through from Zulu Warrior. Money Market wind up and ask for a run. Also trying to come on, that's a Smart Trick. Tailing off a bit, that's Allegiance, and still way out of it, that's Inspire Force there at the top of the lane, and Alpha Revolution kicks away right in the middle and trying to come on. That's Money Market. It's Alpha Revolution straight in through in front, just coming to the furlong pole, and Alpha Revolution looks to have this one all sewn up. They're all chasing Alpha Revolution. Zulu Warrior is right there in second, right there third. That's Money Market, but Alpha Revolution will win the 9th running of the SVRL Anniversary Trophy, beating Zulu Warrior. Then comes Money Market. Allegiance runs on to be 4th.
Michael Sims is ready. They're off. First start. Sky's the Limit has catching up to do. As My Lady Gold shoots through to grab an early lead, Sky's the Limit rushing up on the inside to challenge early as they're about to arrive at the half mile. They're into that turn and Sky's the Limit, tracked closely by Catalina pulling alongside. My Lady Gold backing out into third. My Friend Mickey races with Aliya's Will. 1 Dega Dega Links is next, possibly 6 off that lead. And the talented Boss Gal races at the back. They come flashing past that 5/16th and make their way into the lane. Sky's the Limit out in front under the hand ride thus far. Leaves the quarter pole behind. Sky's the Limit now asked to kick. Aliya's Will in the bright orange. Catalina down against the rail. My Friend Mickey asked to run on the extreme outside, but Sky's the Limit continues to hold the lead. Aliya's Will trying to slice into it as they flash past the furlong pole. Sky's the Limit drifting down to the rail. Aliya's Will right against it. It is Sky's the Limit by just about a half a length. Here is Aliya's Will now closing fast in the end, and Aliya's Will take it in the end over Sky's the Limit. 1 Dega Dega Links is next. Could be My Lady Gold just ahead of My Friend Mickey.
They're off and racing. Breaking smartly in the middle, that's Xylophonic Steel. Toward the near side, Bosie leading that group. Rum With Me right there too. That is a Phoenix Risen. Dead center in the track, that's Restoration. Just beside Restoration, that's Xylophonic Steel. Over toward the far side, that's Legal Bomb and Don Pablo. as they're spread right across the track as they make their way coming out of the chute. Restoration is quite prominent right there too. That is Phoenix Risen. Restoration, Phoenix Risen right against the rail. That's Rum With Me. Also trying to come on, that's Bosie, Rum With Me. Phoenix Risen down against the rail, switching for space, that's Rum With Me. Right in the middle, that's Restoration. It's Restoration and Phoenix Risen. This is where the race lies. Phoenix Risen, Restoration. Restoration toward the middle, Phoenix Risen toward the near side. Restoration looks just to be doing the better from Phoenix Risen. Restoration begins to go away. Restoration pulling off and winning by about 3. Phoenix Risen, good try, second. Then comes Bosie, Undeclared War, Minute the Whack, back in 5th.
They're off. So Wang Don takes off quickly with Golden Syrup. John P. is showing usual dash more toward the center. Princess Aquila is racing nearest to us as they sort themselves out. On the far side, so Wang Don, dead center of the racetrack, also prominent, the gifted one racing just in behind. Shoulder to shoulder with John P. Miss Linton is in a handy spot as Princess Aquila possibly has that lead. Miss Linton is right there, the gifted one in behind them with some work to do. John P. now getting cracks of that left-hand stick, so Wang Don in the pink and green also right there. These almost form a line of 5 as Princess Aquila comes away from them. Racing toward the final furlong, it is Princess Aquila out in front, put to the left-hand stick, and the rider now asked to change it as they charge away. Several horses in with a chance. Princess Aquila, here is John P. He stands alone right under the stand fence, and he stands alone now, bursts through out of the pack, and he stands alone, comes away, and is all alone at the end to win by maybe 5 or 4. Bad investment, second over Princess Aquila, close between Traditional Boy, John P., and on the far side, so Wang Don.
And they've gone without Riley J. Late scratch, Riley J. a very late scratch, as Mineola misses it and is racing at the back of the field. Bowmore wants that lead. Nephew attached toward the inside. About 3 or 4 lengths behind, that's Brompton Boy, just on the outside of Brompton Boy, the Leviticus, and about 6 lengths before we come to Mineola racing at the back of the field. They head toward the 3, and on that lead, Bowmore, not by far. Here comes Brompton Boy coming on the outside. Nephew is right there in 3rd. Another 2 or 3 lengths before we come to the Leviticus, and still about 6 or 7 to Mineola. Not going at all. They're at the top of the lane. Bowmore is still in front. Brompton Boy trying to press Bowmore. It's Bowmore in front of Brompton Boy. Left back against the inside. That's Nephew switched off the rail, but Bowmore is not messing around, and Bowmore begins to pull away from these, and Bowmore is sprinting off and sprinting clear, and it's 3 on the day for the Sneaky Fox. Nephew begins to lay out very late. It's Bowmore in front, and Bowmore by about 7 lengths. Nephew second, got tied for 3rd. Could be the Leviticus, just heading out Brompton Boy, and back in 5th. That's Mineola.
And they're off. Fair start. The Maestro, One Yanza Lynx, they battle for that lead. Prosperity Sen on the outside. Blythewood is right there keeping them company as they make their way down the back stretch. The Maestro just the leader. Here's Gulfstream Cat now moving through, and Gulfstream Cat picks it up on the run passing the 6. The Maestro is racing there. Just in behind those, that's a Brilliant Boy making some progress. One Yanza Lynx fades back into 4th. Blythewood is on the rail, joined by Prosperity Send as the small field head away. Leaving the 5, they run toward the half mile and they turn for home. Gulfstream Cat continues to dictate terms. The Maestro a length and a half in behind. Brilliant Boy is down against the rail. Prosperity Sen in between horses. One Yanza Lynx now making ground and beginning to make gains rapidly. Way at the back of the field, that's Blythewood. 3/8 of a mile to run. They're about to arrive at the 5/16th, and it's the Maestro and One Yanza Lynx now making eye contact. A break back to Prosperity Sen. Gulfstream Cat has faded badly. Blythewood on the outside and left at the back of the field. It's Brilliant Boy as they've turned for home, and the battle up front continues. One Yanza Lynx in the red on the outside now grabs the lead. The Maestro will try to fight back down against the rail. It is One Yanza Lynx. The Maestro put to the left-hand stick, but One Yanza Lynx begins to creep away from the Maestro. That's where the race is. One Yanza Lynx now coming away. Inside the final 16th, it's One Yanza Lynx. Radish Roman, he has a 5-timer. Anthony Nunes has a 4-timer. The Maestro is second. Blythewood is third. Prosperity Sen is fourth. They're off. Neostar staggers out at the back. Wizkid is driven down the rail trying to get that lead. Toward the outside, Don Quezzy is running fast along with Hail the Queen, and Don Quezzy picks it up as they arrive at the mile and go into the clubhouse turn. Hail the Queen pulls alongside, they match strides. A break up some 4 back to Rainsville in the yellow silks. Pretty Brown Ting on the outside of a recovering Neostar. Wicked Cassie in the green races on the rail. A break of 4 back to Brenda Boy. Wizkid is next, and last of all, it's the Rail Identity. They've left the 7 behind them. They take to the backstretch and approach the final 6, and Hail the Queen has now been put to that lead, opening up 3.5 lengths as they go toward the 5. Don Quezzy chasing in second. Neostar is a further 2 lengths back in third, held together as they approach the 5. Rainsville, the grey races, just in front of Pretty Brown Ting. 3.5 lengths back to Wicked Cassie. Wizkid on the rail. Brenda Boy on the outside, circling horses, and last of all, it's the Rail Identity. They're about to arrive at the half mile and go running into the turn, and Don Quezzy has not shot through to get that lead. Neostar breathing down the neck of the leader. Hail the Queen begins to fade. Rainsville the Grey racing down against the fence as they drive past the 7/16th. Brenda Boy is making a big move. Wizkid racing in behind them. Pretty Brown Ting is next, overtaken by Wicked Cassie. Hail the Queen fading badly. The Rail Identity remains last as the field have left the 5/16th, and they'll now come into the lane with Don Quezzy out in front, being chased by Neostar, the favourite. The rider has a look over his shoulder. He sees Neostar now beginning to lengthen strides, but Don Quezzy maintains the advantage. A quick change of hold as they drive toward the furlong pole. It is Don Quezzy. Neostar now coming with a charge on the outside, and Neostar joins Don Quezzy, but the moment is a brief one, and now Neostar, the favourite, strikes the front. Don Quezzy trying to fight back, but it's not going to happen. Neostar wins the second running of the International Women's Day Trophy. Don Quezzy is second, Brenda Boy third, Wicked Cassie is fourth, close between the Rail Identity and Wizkid for fifth.
Five furlongs straight the trip, and we're ready. Off and racing right away. Superstorm gets a good start toward the near side. Closest to us, that's Black Ringo. Running there too, that's Jacaranda Night and Raging River. Over toward the far side, that's Aladdin. Over there too, that's Runaway Bay. Right in the mix and coming on, that's Goodness Gracious, quite prominent. So Goodness Gracious, Superstorm, Raging River, Aladdin is just on there inside and trying to come on. Also there, that's Black Ringo, Jacaranda Night. It's a good-looking race. Superstorm is still in front, but here comes on the outside, that's a Raging River, Superstorm, and Raging River. They're coming to the furlong pole. Superstorm, Raging River, Goodness Gracious is also coming on. Aladdin is beginning to set a light and coming forward. 4 across the track. What a nice race this. Who wants the money? Aladdin right there too. Raging River, Aladdin, Raging River, Raging River, and Aladdin, Raging River. Just the leader from Aladdin, and Aladdin goes on, and Aladdin, Raging River. It's very close. Look like Aladdin over Raging River. Then come Goodness Gracious. Superstorm got tied for fifth. Maybe Hoofy D or Black Ringo.
Thank you for watching another video produced by the team from QuickGallopJaya.com and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper. Please stay on the channel for other enlightening videos on those involved in local horse racing. Please like, subscribe, and press the notification bell.